everybody, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Joe Biden, Mitt Romney, AOC, and Donald Trump. This would be a bit of a weird prediction with Joe Biden, of course, being the Democratic nominee, Mitt Romney being the Republican nominee, AOC being the nominee for some sort of progressive party, and Trump being the nominee for some sort of Trumpist or Tea Party. And this is going to be very, very weird, by the way. Towards the end of the video, most likely, if this were to happen, but I may have to pause the video briefly. My brother's at soccer practice, and I think it ends in actually probably not enough time for me to have to pause it and leave because I'm right now recording on my sofa. But I'm gonna get started by labeling all of Biden's safe states. Rhode Island, not New Hampshire. New Hampshire is not a safe state for Biden. These are his safe states. Colorado would probably be safe. I mean, it'll be. Actually, a lot of these states will probably be more narrow because the Democratic vote share would be split pretty heavily. So we could see Oregon be lean, considering AOC would likely get a lot of support from Portland, and we could see Connecticut become close. A few of these states could likely be kind of close. But it's going to be really weird because the Democratic vote share is going to be pretty split. But generally speaking, if we add up the liberal vote to the conservative vote, this is likely what it would be. And I think that's actually probably what I'm going to do. Whoever's going to win the state gets the characterization, and the margin of victory when you add up the liberal and the conservative vote is, I guess, what I'm going to do. I don't know. Some of these states are really weird. But Biden generally would not really have a hard time winning any of these states. AOC safe states: Hawaii, California, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Maryland. These are all just pretty liberal states. Oh, Illinois safe for Biden. For Trump safe states: Wyoming, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's at-large and 3rd congressional districts, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Indiana, and Missouri. We could see go to Trump or Romney. They would be pretty close between the two. Because they are generally more moderate states, but they seem to like Trump, so I'm actually just going to go into Trump because he's probably going to do well with the rural vote in Missouri and well enough with the working class in Indiana. For Romney's safe states, he has Utah, Montana, Nebraska's first, Kansas. Actually, I'm going to give Kansas to Trump. Well, it's hard because he's going to do better with the rural vote, but Romney's going to do better in the suburbs. I'm going to give it to Trump. It's kind of hard to tell when I'm going to give it to Trump. Mississippi goes to Romney. Alabama goes to Trump. Safe. So those are all these safe states. For Biden's likely states, Colorado and New Mexico, we could see Colorado be safe. I mean, once again, it really depends on if we're going with the liberal vote share plus the winner or what. But there are some states where I think, Romney would win, but the liberal vote share would overall be more than the conservative vote share. I guess with these more safe states, we're not really going to have to get into that. I guess we can get more into it later, but we already know who's going to win these states, or generally speaking. Colorado, I mean, it could be safe. AOC could take some of the vote share from Biden. We could see her do better with the Hispanic and Latino vote. I don't necessarily think that just because somebody is, is that even a word? Just because somebody is part of a certain group, they would necessarily do well with that group. I think AOC would, generally speaking, though, probably do slightly better with the Hispanic and Latino vote, which is why it could be likely. She's going to carry D.C. safe. Virginia, I think, is likely Biden. We could see AOC put up a serious fight here. She could probably do pretty well in the D.C. area. Trump would probably take the majority of the rural vote, though Romney wouldn't really put up much of a fight. Whatever liberal rural vote there is, Biden would obliterate AOC with it. And then in Maine, once again, I say this every video, it's kind of inelastic. I guess in this scenario it would be kind of weird. We could see it slip down to lean because we could see AOC take a lot of the white rural college educated vote from Biden. We could see Trump do very well in the 2nd district. And we could, actually, I'm going to give it to Biden lean just because Romney and AOC are probably going to take a lot of the white rural college educated vote from Biden. And we're going to likely see Trump. Well, Biden could do pretty well with them, but we're also going to likely see Trump do well in the 2nd district, which is why I'm just going to give it to Biden lean. For AOC's likely states, I don't actually have any for her. Oh, Nebraska's second, probably likely Biden. Um, it could be lean. I could see Romney taking a decent portion of the suburban vote from Biden, but I'll go to him lean. Anyways, for AOC's likely state, she has none. Romney's, he has none. Oh, South Carolina and Alaska are both likely. Um, Trump has none either. That's kind of weird. For Biden's lean states, I'm gonna go give him Nevada. Here's the thing. I mean, like, in the state, we're likely gonna see AOC do better with the Hispanic and Latino. Oh, actually, I'm gonna give it to him Tillich because that she's gonna take a lot of the Hispanic and Latino vote, and Trump's gonna do well. Trump already did well in the rural areas, and I don't see AOC taking enough of the Hispanic and Latino vote from him, especially as an incumbent. He's probably gonna do well enough. I mean, Romney's not gonna do significant damage with the rural vote, and the suburbs are already super blue, so it'll probably be like a lean state for him. Minnesota, I think it's probably gonna be lean because it could be likely. Trump is probably gonna do pretty well with the working class to make that it's like 2020. I think we're gonna see AOC take a lot of the vote away from him in Minneapolis, and I think we could see Romney do decent in the suburbs. I mean, like, not that he's gonna win the suburbs, but you could see him do pretty decent in the suburbs. So it's probably gonna be lean for AOC's lean states. She also has none for New Hampshire for Biden. I mean, like, here's the thing: Romney and AOC once again are going to take more of the white rural college educated vote, or there's a decent chance that they could. And Trump, I mean, like, he could take. I feel like he could do, I guess, better with well, not necessarily better, but he could retain a lot of Trump to Biden 2016 voters. But I doubt it. For Trump's likely or lean states, Texas, Iowa, and Ohio. Texas is close between Trump and Romney, so I'm not gonna. I'll label it in a minute. But for Iowa and Ohio, by the way, these colors, these lean and likely, they look, or the lean for each of these look very, very similar. So that's kind of weird, but regardless, or at least fairly similar. But regardless, Trump is just really good with these states. He's really good at the white rural vote. None of Biden's the only candidate that could put up a decent challenge for the white rural vote, which is why it's probably going to be lean. It honestly could be likely. Romney and AOC aren't going to do much with the white rural vote, which is why I'm just going to give it to him likely. Like, Biden's not going to put up much of a challenge, and AOC is going to do worse with the white rural vote, and Romney probably won't do very well either. And he's also going to carry Maine second, likely. AOC is probably not going to do very well there. Romney might do decent there, and Biden could do decent there. Actually, just because of that, I'm going to give it to them lean, because I could see them all doing decent, but I don't necessarily know that it would be enough. For Romney's lean states, I'm going to give him Texas and Florida. So in Texas, I mean, like, we're going to see Trump win a lot of the white rural vote, and we're going to see AOC. Looking at it, it's like R plus 6 right now, or I guess Trump party plus 5.6. We're going to see we're going to see Romney. I mean, with the rural vote, we're not going to see much change. We could see Romney slightly improve, take it down to like R plus 5-ish. But we're going to see him do better in the suburbs. And we're going to see, there's a decent chance we're likely going to see this fight between AOC and Biden for third there, just because AOC is going to do better with the Hispanic and Latino vote. Romney's going to do well enough in the suburbs, too. I mean, actually, I'm going to give it to Trump, just because Romney's not going to do well enough in the rural areas, but he's going to do well enough in the suburbs to be able to make it lean. In Florida, I mean, like, it's a more moderate state. Trump and AOC would probably both do decent. Actually, I think that Trump would do better. Actually, it's really hard because looking at these major demographic groups, I actually need to do the delegate edit. Okay. We're gonna have to change some of this. Sorry, I completely forgot to do this. My thing, like, reset. Florida. I'm just gonna go back to talking about it. Honestly, at this point, I mean, like, I don't know that, in the state of Florida, I think that Trump's gonna do very, very well with the Hispanic and Latino vote in Florida, which is obviously gonna help him, but, I'm hoping this is the right vote share. Alabama up to 9. I think that's the right vote share. Trump's going to do too well with the Hispanic and Latino vote to lose it. I mean, like, we're going to see him probably do pretty decent with the Hispanic and Latino vote. We're going to see Romney do better in the suburbs, though, and it's hard to tell. It's going to be close. I'm just going to give it to Trump tilt just because he was able to carry it, and he's going to do better with the Hispanic and Latino vote. Let's just go state by state at this point. Arizona, tilt to Romney, because the thing is, I mean, like, we're going to see AOC take a significant portion of the Hispanic, or not significant, we're going to see her take a decent portion of the Hispanic and Latino vote away from Biden, which could give the Republicans the victory right there. But we're going to see Romney do significantly better with the white rural, or with the rural vote, with the working class what am I even saying? Suburban traditional Republican voters. Now I'm just spewing random demographics: working class, rural, suburban, Arizona, conservative. No, but what was I even saying? But it's probably gonna go to tilt or lean. For Georgia, I'm gonna go to Biden tilt. I see Trump getting enough rural turnout, and I see Romney taking away enough. Well, I'm actually gonna go to. It's really hard. I'm gonna give it to Romney tilt, because here's the thing: Trump is already strong enough in the rural areas. We're not gonna see Biden do any better in the rural areas. In fact, you could see Trump do better. We could see him overperform, because we're gonna see We're gonna see more votes against AOC. I mean, to be fair, we could see a lot of 2020 Biden voters seeing AOC and seeing Romney on the ballot, and like rural voters seeing Romney on the ballot. They voted for Biden over Trump. They see AOC and Romney, and they vote Romney. I think that's a decent possibility. Dude, the tilt red looks kind of weird now with all this. Looks like a strange color, considering, like, to be fair, this is a lot of really weird colors for an election prediction, but whatever. Anyways, in Georgia, we're going to see Romney do slightly better in the suburbs, and that'll probably help, as well as AOC will probably take away enough of the vote in Atlanta from Biden. Wisconsin, all across the Rust Belt. Rhode Island, safe Biden. All across the Rust Belt, I mean, like, in Wisconsin, we're likely going to see Trump. I don't see Biden losing working class votes unless they go to AOC, which is highly unlikely. I mean, I see him losing obviously like a few, but generally speaking, I see him probably doing pretty well with the working class. Although Romney will probably do decent enough in the suburbs, but I don't necessarily know that it would be enough. I'm actually no, Romney would not win it. I'll tell you that. I'm actually gonna list the Trump tilt, just because Romney's not gonna be strong enough. Romney's gonna take away enough of the suburban vote from Biden. But in Michigan, Trump's not going to do enough with the working class. Michigan's still be lean, even though Romney's taking away enough suburban vote. Pennsylvania probably tilt, just because once again Romney will take away enough of the suburban vote. North Carolina, it's hard because it's tilt to Romney. It's really difficult to call. I think that Romney's looking at 2020. Trump is going to do still very well with the working class, but Romney's going to do well enough in the suburbs to be able to offset that. It could. It's really hard. Whether or not it's tilt to Trump or tilt to Romney, it's really difficult, but it doesn't really matter, because either way Trump wins. He wins the election regardless. Which is, it's kind of crazy that Trump as a third party can win the election, because I'm like looking at this, as long as AOC or a progressive party wins, because they're going to take away a lot of the vote share from the Democrats in a lot of these states, which would likely or enough of the vote share, plus Romney would probably take away enough of the suburban vote. This is kind of like I think a good Republican scenario, because, or at least a good Trumpist scenario, because the thing is, looking at the vote in total, Trump's going to retain enough rural voters. AOC is going to take away some of the urban voters, and a lot of these very liberal voters that didn't necessarily like Biden because of how moderate he was, but voted for him. Romney's going to take away enough of the suburban vote, and Trump's going to be second place if Biden wins a state, except for maybe AOC in, like, an uber liberal state. A state that's actually going to, like, dictate the election, like a swing state. We're going to see Trump likely place second behind Biden, just generally. But then we're going to see AOC taking more of the urban vote share, him keeping the rural vote, and Romney taking away enough in the suburban vote, for it to be narrow Trump victories. So yeah, this is my prediction. It's kind of weird. I don't necessarily know about all this. I'm still gonna give this to Trump. I don't see it. After this, I don't see them. I don't see the Democrats performing well enough for Trump not to win this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.